Watch the same player wear two different shirts, and you'll watch two different people. At his club, he floats. He takes risks like it's nothing. He loses the ball and just smiles, already moving toward the next play. At his club, football looks like the easiest thing in the world, but put a different badge on his chest, his country's badge, and something shifts. The shoulders sit a little lower, the smile disappears, the same touch that looked playful looks careful. So what actually changed? During the World Cup, you're watching this exact thing happen over and over. Players who look completely free for their clubs all season are suddenly carrying something heavier the moment they put on the national shirt. Watch any major tournament closely enough, and you'll see it everywhere, tournament after tournament, generation after generation. Fans call it pressure, like it's one single thing. It isn't. There's a difference between the weight of a club and the weight of a country, and almost nobody asks what that difference actually is. There is a kid in Barcelona in the early 2000s. He's small for his age, small enough that Barcelona's interest in signing him is partly tied to paying for the growth hormone treatment. His family back in Argentina couldn't fully afford. He's 13 when he moves continents for a football club. He grows up inside that academy. By the time he's a teenager in the first team, he already looks like himself. He nutmegs people and smiles after getting fouled. Barcelona is a place that chose him before he had to prove anything and kept choosing him year after year. Now put him in an Argentina shirt. Same player, different type of pressure. Teammates and journalists who covered his early international career describe someone almost unrecognizable, nervous before matches, physically unwell with anxiety, unable to find the rhythm that came to him so naturally for 40 weeks a year in Spain. Argentina already had a religion before he ever arrived, Diego Maradona's. Every Argentine number 10 since 1986 was being measured against a ghost, and Messi inherited that measurement the day he was first picked, whether he agreed to the comparison or not. He didn't choose that weight. He was born into the geography that assigned it to him. That's the actual difference. A club is a relationship you enter. You can be sold. You can leave for a better fit somewhere else. If Barcelona had never wanted him, some other club eventually would have. The relationship, at least in theory, is mutual and breakable. A country isn't breakable. You can't transfer out of your own passport. There's no version of this story where Messi plays for a different national team because the fit is wrong. Argentina isn't a club he joined. Argentina is a fact about him that football turned into a job, and the job came with debt attached before he ever kicked a ball. The debt of an entire country's unfinished grief over a tournament from before he was even born. Watch what that debt does to him across a decade. The World Cup final in Brazil 2014, Argentina lose to Germany in extra time, and the camera finds Messi walking past the trophy like it's something he isn't allowed to look at. 2 years later, the 2016 Copa América final against Chile penalties, and this time, he misses his. Within days, he tells the world he's done with the national team, a player who has already conquered everything a club competition can offer, walking away because international football finally beat him. He reverses the decision weeks later. But think about what it actually took to get there. A player at the absolute peak of his powers, stepping away from his own country. Not because his talent failed him, but because the weight of carrying something he never agreed to carry had become heavier than the game itself. Messi isn't alone in this. Neymar, devastatingly talented and weightless for Barcelona and PSG for most of his career, broke down in tears, watching from the stands in 2014 as Brazil collapsed 7-1 to Germany in a semifinal he couldn't play in. A back injury removing him from a fight he'd been carrying for years. Cristiano Ronaldo, who'd already won everything a club could offer, spent over a decade hearing that none of it counted until Portugal finally won Euro 2016, and he didn't even finish that final, leaving the pitch in tears. Different players, different positions, different countries. The same exact pattern. The club career stayed light, and the international career stayed heavy, until something finally broke the debt. Here's the part that explains everything. In 2021, Argentina finally won something, the Copa América, beating Brazil in Brazil's own stadium. And almost overnight, commentators start saying, Messi looks lighter. Nothing about his skill changed that night. What changed was the debt. That specific inherited, unchosen debt Argentina handed him the day he put on the shirt. The unfinished business with 1986, with Maradona, with 3 decades of near misses finally got paid. By 2022, that debt wasn't just paid, it was erased entirely. In Qatar, he lifted the World Cup in a final so epic it felt destined, silencing every ghost, every final defeat, every penalty shootout heartbreak that had haunted Argentina for years. He had done it. He had finished the story. Once it was paid, the weight wasn't his to carry anymore. He could just play. And by 2026, with nothing left to prove and everything already won, he played not like a man carrying a nation, but like a kid in a park, smiling, drifting past defenders for the sheer pleasure of it, because the story was already complete, and he was simply adding a happy epilogue. That's the real difference between club and country. Club pressure is about performance. Can you do the job this season? Country pressure is about identity. Can you resolve something that was never actually about you, using 90 minutes that were never going to be enough to settle it on their own? A club asks you to be good. A country asks you to be the answer to a question that's older than you are. So next time you watch someone wearing their country's badge, looking heavier than they ever do for their club, understand what you're actually seeing. It isn't nerves, it isn't even pressure. It's a person being handed a story that started long before they were born and being asked every single time they step onto the pitch to finish it. Most players never get to put that story down. A few, like Messi eventually did, finally get to set it aside. And the strange part is, once they do, you can finally see how light they were supposed to be the whole time. Have a good one. Peace.